Hello and welcome to the North Bank Podcast. I'm your host, Holly, and I'm joined by Stef only this evening. Hi, Stef.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good. Chris can't make it, but I'm sure we'll manage to talk for sufficient mileage out of Sunderland and Brentford. That's it. But can we talk about Arsenal after that hammer blow of a result yesterday? Hammer blow in quotation marks. Gary Neville strikes again. Apparently, Man City beating Liverpool was a hammer blow for Arsenal. I'd have thought it was a bit of an inconvenience for Liverpool as well, to be fair. But did you watch the game?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I watched it very much with my Scouse glasses on, hoping for some kind of result. Yeah, it's interesting, that hammer blow thing, isn't it? Because there was lots of talk, and the commentator even said at some point about, reeling Arsenal back in or something like that. And I don't know about you, but last time I checked, going into this weekend, we were 6 points ahead. And coming out of this weekend, we're 6 points ahead. So, yeah, as you were. And
we played particularly well as well, didn't we? So,
yeah, against a good Sunderland side.
Indeed. Well, look, I full disclosure, I was hoping for a Liverpool win against City. It was the only game I had City, when we did the little predictions in the previous pod, it's the only game I had City down to lose. So I'm a little bit up against it already after one game. I mean, what is interesting is our next three games are away in the league because of the rearranged Wolves game, where Brentford, Wolves and Spurs, the next three away games. City in the same period have two home games, Fulham and Newcastle. Yeah,
don't really fancy it, do we?
No, I don't.
You won't want me to tell you about Man City's record against Fulham, then, I take it?
No, because I think the Arsenal old boys can still do us a favour. Let me live in my ignorance. So look, we beat Sunderland 3-0, although that result somehow has been tainted in the media by Man City beating Liverpool 2-1 with the kind of a late comeback and turnaround there. I watched the first half at Anfield, and it was Liverpool were pants, basically. But let's focus on us. We played pretty well, and I don't want to start with negatives or anything like that, but Man United defeat 4 games ago. Since that, I always said I wanted the Man United defeat to be the Blackburn of, from 1997, or I think it was. And since the United defeat, we've played 4, won 4, 3 clean sheets, scored 11. That's a pretty impressive. That's not a team that's struggling for nerves. That doesn't sound like a team, and it's not playing like a team that's about to bottle it. And more of the same on Thursday. Fine, well, it doesn't matter what City do. It doesn't matter at all. We win our games. We play the way we played against Leeds and Sunderland, and we will win far more of the games coming up than not. And that's all we can look to. But my question is about the team selection and the player availability. No Ødegaard, no Saka. Madueke came in and he creates that chaos. Was very, very good against Leeds. Less effective against Sunderland. Havertz is the player I want to talk about. He comes in the Ødegaard role, the Eze role. Is he our number 10 for the remainder of the season? Let me reframe the question. We are playing our biggest game of the season next weekend. It's the next game, be it City in the League Cup, be it City in the Champions League, be it a Champions League final, whatever. And everyone's fit, apart from Marino. All the players are available, apart from Marino, who's underwent surgery today. Good luck to him in his recovery. Who are you starting? Who are our front six?
Front six? Yes.
Well, midfield and attack, so
Sure. Yes, Havertz climbed in there. Zubimendi and Rice are non-negotiables. They're in midfield. And at the moment, Havertz is there as well. Hard to look past Gyokeres in the striker role. There's an argument on the left side about whether it's Martinelli or Trossard. Unfortunately, obviously Trossard limped off a little bit against Sunderland. And
Have you heard anything?
Nothing
No.
at all. That's like you. I just saw the stuff about Marino having his operation today, with the hope that he could be back and available for some of the final games of the season. But realistically, not
No,
really.
it's the World Cup for him, isn't it?
Yeah, you would have thought so. And then even the right side, there's a bit of a debate. As much as I obviously love Saka, he's in a bit of a flat spot in terms of form. Fine, and Madueke's done okay. I think ultimately, if it's that big a game, I'm plumping for Saka myself. But that's kind of historically. But yeah, as you say, Havertz at the moment, what a difference he's made, and what great timing given the physical profile, I suppose, of Marino going as well. He is a very different player in that role to Odegaard and Eze, who are kind of similar, but Havertz has just been brilliant.
Havertz has got the best of both, hasn't he?
He has really.
He plays closer to Gyokeres, and that's the key.
Mm-hmm.
And you always talk about relationships.
Yeah.
And the other relationship, and I'll reveal my man of the match ahead of time, perhaps from Saturday, the Sunderland game. But I've actually written down Trossard as my man of the match. I thought he was brilliant throughout the entire game. But I think Martinelli and Gyokeres have a relationship, have a connection on the pitch. You can see it in the fact that he squared to him for the tap in, and then the celebration was great, and then his post match interview as well. He goes, I might have taken one off him before. I think I owed him one, laughing and joking about that. And I just think that's really important. Not necessarily the best player, but the best fit, if you see the difference.
Slight counter to that is, because there's been a lot of talk in the past, even about Martinelli and his impact from the bench. Against tired legs, and Sunderland defended excellently for large spells of the game, and are a really, really tough side to sort of break down. But towards that end of the game, I don't know what minutes they came on, but it was enough to have a kind of second wind, another go at the Sunderland defence. And the way that goal opened up for Martinelli just sort of showed that if you can inject that kind of energy into some tiring legs, or against some tiring legs, then it can reap the rewards. So do you hold him back and have him from the bench? If Trossard's available, I can understand that being the way.
I mean, you can see the reason or the point or the value or the significance in Arteta bigging up his finishers before the season started, as they're going to be as important. And I wonder, if you're Gyokeres, or indeed if you're Martinelli, would you rather A, start the game, play against the opposition who are going to be there most curmudgeonly, deep, low block, unadventurous, have very little space, or B, come on when maybe we've sneaked a goal up, or the game state's changed, but what is inevitable is there are tiring legs and minds in the opposition, and come on for the last 30 plus stoppage time minutes, knowing you're going to have a much better chance of getting yourself on the score sheet. I mean, it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Do if you're and it's only really relevant to the likes of Martinelli and Gyokeres and Jesus, and maybe not even Trossard, because I think Trossard, even with his performance on Saturday, he impacted the game. Like he got the assist, but it's one of those assists that when you see the quality of the strike, you're thinking, yeah, no, I'll take it. But striker had the goal scorer had a lot to do with it still.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Would you, if you put yourself in Martinelli's and Gyokeres' mindset, and maybe their experiences this season, in fact, again, because the opposition do kind of set up in a similar fashion against us.
Yeah, but it's such a mindset shift in the sense that, you know, I grew up in an era watching football, and even the bit of like stuff I played, you know, at like Sunday league level, where you hated being sub. Being sub was seen as such a failure, like you're not good enough to start. And so I don't know how players feel, because it's that revolution has certainly happened in rugby. The talk of having finishers and the squad game of rugby has really shifted to the point where two-time world champions South Africa have named their bomb squad, and they have a ridiculous thing where they just essentially just change the front line, because it's all the big guys who will tire and run out of energy and run out of air in their lungs. So they just replace the whole of them. And the risk then is that you don't have any backs who can change if there's an injury. So that's already happened. A sport like the American sports, so basketball, we had the Super Bowl this weekend, just gone. You know, those are sports that are constantly interchanging and changing players. Like there's a constant rotation. Yes, you have your outliers and your stars and whatnot, but generally there's an acceptance that you play your part and then you move away and then you come back in again. Football is getting to that point, really, since it's been a squad game, well, probably since the Abramovich takeover at Chelsea, where teams could really stack, you know, talented players. That maybe that started to creep in, but it's now being spoken of in the same way as other sports. And Martinelli had famously, I think earlier in the season, had an interview where they asked him about his desire to start, and he was just so humble in the sense that he said, look, I love Arsenal, I'm here however they need me. And so someone like him, I think he would absolutely relish that role. Gyokeres is slightly different. I think there's that striker's mindset of just wanting to be at the centre of everything. The more time he has on the pitch, the more likelihood he is to score, in a just pure numbers and minutes kind of sense. But like you say, maybe there is an element of, you look at the opposition, you look at the game state, and you raise the possibility of him scoring if he's to come on in those particular circumstances. The same way we look at the circumstances of corners and set pieces and think about how we can get goals that way. It's interesting. I don't know what the answer is.
Do you know who our top scorers are this season?
Trossard and Gyokeres. Oh no, Martinelli is probably up there because of the Champions League.
Yeah, Martinelli and Gyokeres. I'm just saying. And here's a stat for you. Arsenal's record in second halves. We've scored 31 goals, which is the most in the league, and we've conceded 11, which is the fewest in the league.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're. I mean, Gyokeres has got 2 goals to his name from Saturday because he came on against a tiring defence.
And it was an excellent performance.
It was, yeah.
You know, one of his best. I mean, as Chris said in our sort of instant reaction, that he didn't really put a foot wrong. It was the bullish centre forward that we were.
Yeah, the flat track bully that we bought. That's what we bought him for, turning those draws against these obstinate defences into victories. That's what we got him for. And you said even before the season started that in big games you felt that Havertz would be the one to start over Gyokeres, and I looked at you as if you'd had 3 heads and said something outrageous. It's like, what do I know? But
every now and again, you know, like a stop clock.
Just on Gyokeres, because his 2026 numbers are pretty impressive. He's got 6 goals in all competitions since the 1st of January, which is more than anybody else in any other Premier League player, which is great. The rest are all on 5, or the nearest to him are on 5. That's thanks to Harris on BlueSky. That's that. In the last 8 matches, he's got 6 goals and 2 assists. That's pretty good. And he's sitting on 13 for the season now, 8 in the league. So if we set him like a decent target of 20 goals, I think he's now looking much more likely to get that than not get that, staying fit, obviously. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think if I was trying to imagine myself being them, I think I could sacrifice starting a game and being just coming off after 60, 62 minutes frustrated, and then watching the person replacing me get a goal and an assist, or 2 goals and an assist, or whatever. I was like, no, do you know what? I want some of that. I want to be on the pitch at the end of the game, lapping up the praise and the applause from the cheers from the stands. But, you know.
Can I counter with one thing then? Let's say the plan moving forward is to utilise that very sort of specialist idea of the finishers with Gyokeres and Martinelli. Who's your centre forward? Assuming Havertz is back in the left 8 role.
Well, Jesus would start. Jesus would start, and I think if you're looking for a striker, an attacker to wear the opposition down, then Jesus is your man, because he doesn't stay still. He constantly moves, and his feet are quick. So it's not physically he'll exhaust the opposition, but mentally he'll exhaust the opposition, because he's got such quick feet and he can pop up all over the place. And I think, and then he can get his goals as well. The goal he got against Leeds was brilliant bit of footwork in the box. So I would play. I think he's better at occupying an entire back line than Gyokeres is, who stays much more narrow. Jesus is much better at linking up play as well, especially when space is tight, than Gyokeres is. Again, last 30 minutes, space is going to open up, just the natural course of a game, not just tactics, but just the tiring legs and minds of the opposition. Last 15, 20 minutes. Don't forget, they're chasing shadows half the time against us. So we scored. That's why we're the top scorers in the second halves of matches this season. So I'd go, and we don't have an alternative really. You know, who else? I mean, you know, Gyokeres start through the middle. I wouldn't be playing Trossard or Martinelli through the middle. I don't think that. I mean, Martinelli at a push, if we were down injuries, I think he could be quite a decent number 9. We've not really tried that too often. I certainly can't recall. I think there was a couple of seasons ago we did, but
Liverpool away at the tail end of last season is one standout, but that was mainly due to availability of anyone else.
But isn't it like mad that you even said there's a conversation to have between Saka and Madueke on the right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's good and bad, because it's a reflection on Saka's drop in form. But good because we've got the option. You know, Madueke is effective. He's got that kind of chaos factor to him, that unpredictability to him, which our form since United, you take the 2 league games, Leeds and Sunderland, yes, sure, the 2 promoted teams, you'd expect us to win those games, but plenty of clubs have come a cropper at Ellen Rose.
Yeah, they're unbeaten in 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Sunderland, 8th, or is it sitting in 8th? They're no mugs. And
it was a tough game against Sunderland.
Yeah, but we played with an energy and zip that has an urgency that's been missing. Yep. Like I even said it even though we hadn't created, apart from the Havertz header in the second minute, or the first minute even, we hadn't created an awful lot. But I said to you, like 20 minutes in, I said, do you know what? I'm really loving the energy here, the urgency, the zip. You know, even the throw-ins were quick.
Yeah.
It's just, I just thought it was I just felt Arteta talked about his the fun boat, or whatever it was.
It was.
I might be misquoting him there. It feels like I should be misquoting him, but I might not be. And and I really felt it. I really sensed it, that there was a more of a relaxed aura about the team, and obviously if that's the case, I look at the personnel who are playing, and maybe Ødegaard, and I read somewhere that Arteta is frustrated that Ødegaard drops so deep, and he wants him closer to the striker. Now, he doesn't have that issue with Havertz. Havertz stays closer to the striker because his instinct is as a striker as well, so he's more inclined to that. But I agree, Havertz starts for me over Ødegaard, and I love Ødegaard, and if Ødegaard sorts his form out, then we can revisit the conversation. It'd be interesting to see what Arteta actually does, because He did start with Havertz. Which game did he start Havertz in? The Chelsea game, wasn't it? No, Havertz came on.
Havertz started Leeds and Sunderland.
But when Odegaard was available...
Oh, that probably would have been the Chelsea game, yeah.
Did Havertz start the Chelsea game?
He
did. I don't think he did.
You're on about the second
I don't think he
leg?
did because he scored that. He scored late on, so he wouldn't have. I don't think he's played 90 minutes yet, has he?
No.
So I've got another stat from the Sunderland game which I love. We won 3-0. Our XG was only 1.5. Their XG was 0.2. We had 16 shots to their 5. 5 on target, 2 of theirs on target. Out of those 16 shots, do you know how many were from outside the area?
It felt like quite a lot. I've got no
6.
idea. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
6. That's a change.
They're massive, yeah. It felt it.
It's a good tactic to employ, shooting at goal against a low block.
Right.
Because they're all sitting in the... No, I should have just left it at that.
Yeah.
It's
Shooting
a good
at goal.
tactic.
Who knew?
But Rice and Havertz both came very close, and I loved the static stance of their goalkeeper on both shots. He didn't have a clue.
No.
Like he was just, it was hope as he watched the ball sail past. It made no effort, wasn't going to get near it, and they just narrowly passed the outside of the post. So I'm looking for this as an improvement as well. So I thought that was an interesting stat. I don't want to, because we've had a couple of days since the game. I don't want to go back into all the stats, but that was a stat that kind of stood out, because we often bemoan a lack of shooting, and Aston Villa have illustrated the benefits of shooting from outside the area.
XG busters for a long time, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's catching up on them now, perhaps with their drop points, but we've got the better balance.
Well, I think with Villa, player availability is also catching up with them, and that's something we've just praised ourselves for, because a couple of players go out injured, the likes of Odegaard and Saka, with their quality, and we've got players that are coming in.
Well, Saka, Odegaard and Marino out. In come
international players. Yeah.
In come Havertz, Madueke, and who have I missed? Havertz, Madueke, and
Marino on the bench.
Well, he wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't start, and that's Eze still not starting.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's mad. It's a madness.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit. Yeah, I think Aston Villa and Emery will probably prioritise the league, the Europa League, perhaps, if this form in the league continues, because if they win that, they qualify for the Champions League. I mean, I hope they don't, because their last game of the season is at City, so I hope they're fighting for something.
Well, I mean, they
game.
need to be careful, because obviously with the way the weekend's results went, Liverpool will be gutted to have bottled those 3 points.
Yeah, let's say it. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, absolutely bottled those 3 points, because there's just a bit of a gap now.
4 points to the next team, aren't they?
With the form they're in and the vulnerability they seem to have, there's no guarantees. So they will be relying on either the new manager bounce at United to drop off. I frankly don't see that for a little while, because of the reinvigoration that they've got.
I actually think they'll drop points at West Ham, just so that United Strand fella has to keep growing his hair.
He must be.
I mean, he won't be sleeping tonight. Is it tomorrow or Wednesday?
I actually don't know, but
he
we'll
won't
all
be sleeping
watching.
tonight.
Have you ever known?
If you're Carrick, do you put a picture of him up in the changing room as motivation?
Do it for the United Strand. I mean, we don't know. I mean, the guys might have got used to his hair. It might be quite devastating that he has to get a haircut.
Have you seen the size of it?
No, it's
the
awful.
volume of it.
It's awful.
I think that's got to be...
yeah, I mean, there's an element of...
he won't want to be going into the summer months.
It is tomorrow.
Carrying that.
At 8:15. So... it'll be the first time, I think, in British football history that people are watching a football match more worried about the outcome because it relates to someone getting a haircut. It's just insane. This is the modern world we live in. because there might have been in pre like smartphones and social media and the internet, there might have been one guy in a pub who like bet his mates and said, well, I'm not getting my haircut till United. And so that little community would have been like, oh, do you remember when Jeff grew his bloody hair because he went United 5 games? Whereas now it's global. It's literally global. He's been on national TV and international TV. It's crazy.
I'm assuming, and I don't know, I'm assuming if they do win against West Ham, he will have his haircut on the pitch at Old Trafford before the next game for charity, I assume.
There's got to be... No, he will want to monetise the hell out of that, surely. Because he's already probably done fairly well. A few TV appearances here and there.
It's on like day 447 or something. That was the last one I saw. But
so, yeah, I mean, massive gesture it would be for the haircut. But at the same time, you know, live streaming it out on, you know, a special thing that you buy like a membership for or something.
Which depends, because he's got think about it. He's got a lot of publicity. Like he's had his Warhol's 15 minutes of fame many times over already, and like I wonder how United fans. I know they were like it was a bit of argy-bargy a while back.
He had aggro at one game, didn't he? Yeah.
But so look, Sunderland were excellent. They were aggressive and progressive in their block, but they didn't come and sit back at Arsenal. And the 3-0 scoreline, I saw someone describe it as comfortably uncomfortable or uncomfortably comfortable.
That was me on our socials.
That was good then. So I do read them for evidence.
Yeah, uncomfortably comfortable.
There you go. It was, yeah.
The scoreline flattered a bit, I felt, to be honest, but I was mightily glad of it.
But I liked how we played.
Yes.
How have you got our league table of predictions up? Because I got that scoreline right.
Oh, I haven't got the league table. I don't know where you're at on this. I haven't done a tally for a little while. But
surely.
Yes, well done. All right, you keep. You can't just mention like that when you win.
When else am I going to mention?
Fair. And just on Sunderland, I just talk about. I don't know if I was fully aware of what he brought. I think he came on as a sub at the reverse game at their place, but Broby, their striker. What a handful he was. Like Saliba knew he was in a game. They were trying to swap shirts at one point, and he was just relentless with his strength and his desire to win every ball. And it was a hard game.
I mean, I've not seen Saliba struggle like that before in a long time.
And
fair play to Saliba on a yellow card early on, and he managed to kind of keep it together, because I think within a minute of Saliba's yellow card, Mosquera was warming up on the touchline as a little like warning or little nod to Saliba, like keep your head, don't get caught again, stop trying to get the shirt off his back, quite so obviously. And there was a guy on our YouTube, underneath our YouTube preview of Sunderland, who forewarned us that your two centre-backs will know they've been in a game after marking Broby, and absolutely right. I was like, bloody hell.
Well, Saliba did. It was so obvious. Broby just kept going to Saliba's side. He's like, no, I want to fight you, because Gabriel loves that kind of stuff, doesn't he? He'll fight all day.
But Saliba's unruffleable, if that's a word.
Cold as ice, isn't it?
Yeah. So he did. I mean, again, which do you pick between your rock or your hard place with them two? It's like let's do we've got a whole message in from Chris to go through as we go. He said thoughts on Sunderland. Again, credit to Sunderland, a well-drilled physical team, but not lacking in technical ability either. And after watching them twice in the flesh this season, I can absolutely see why they're sitting in 8th in the league, if that's indeed the position they're in. But they're around about 8th in the league. That's a good run from them, and it puts them in the European conversation for the Conference League, perhaps. I don't know what position in the table gets that, but anyway. So, who was your man of the match for the Sunderland game?
Zubimendi. Not only is it such a good finish that the more I watch it, the better it gets. The way he cut across the ball.
It's the only place it could have gone in.
Only place when you hit it that low like that. I mean, you could argue that the keeper still had it covered. Like the keeper did nothing wrong, but it was just ping off the post. Absolutely brilliant. But actually, I just thought, dominant in midfield, very tidy. Lovely little touch doing the Marino celebration in the corner. Yeah, loved all that. I thought Zubimendi was class.
Chris, man of the match, Big Vic. What an impact sub. Didn't put a foot wrong. And just to show or to illustrate the kind of quality performance from the team, I've got a different man of the match. My man of the match is Trossard, I already alluded to. I just thought he was brilliant from the first minute. I mean, he turned up on the right-hand side in the first minute and put the ball in for Havertz to have that header, which Havertz should have done better with, if we're honest, in the first minute. I'm like, where's Trossard playing? And there was just that kind of fluidity about us, and that kind of almost like, enjoy yourselves. Like, you've got your defensive roles, but when we're attacking, when we've got the ball, enjoy yourselves. Go with it. Go where you sense danger. Like, these are world-class players, very, very top of their game, playing for the team who's top of everything at the moment. And go and remind everybody why that is. It just got that sense. Player that impressed you most?
Martinelli, actually. Again, a bit like what Chris said for Gyokeres. Impact from the bench, direct, that layoff, a bit like the Zubimendi goal. The more I watch it, the more I see the intent to draw the keeper, draw the defenders, knock it wide. It was just perfect. And again, like you say, there might be a little nugget of a relationship building there that could be certainly quite fruitful if we can exploit it.
I mean, them coming off the bench for the last 25, 30 minutes of every game
is unreal.
Yeah. I mean, defenders would be like, give me a break. Like, take me off. I've got an injury. Chris is impressed by Zubi. The more I watch his goal, the more impressive it is. To cut across a moving ball first time, pure class. Also putting a good shift defensively, arguably our best signing of the season. Is that arguable?
I don't think so, because Gyokeres came with such a reputation, feels like as harsh, but Zubimendi settled in a lot quicker, and just that's it. And the other players have been brilliant servants to the squad. Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, I think Zubi's. I think as we sit now, Zubi's our sign of the season. Ask me again when Gyokeres scores 5 or 6 hat tricks in the next 10 or 12 games.
I mean, if he goes, what was the rate he scored? 6 since
he's got 6 goals
year?
And. He's got 8 goal contributions in 8 games.
Well, if he does that, what are we in the second week of February? If he keeps doing that every 6 weeks, he could get 20 in this part of the season. In this half.
Yeah,
that's good.
I've gone for Gyokeres. Yeah. Come on, score 2 goals. Don't put a foot wrong. I think you've earned a bit of praise. We've player that could improve. Chris hasn't done that, so let's not do that because I don't want to do any negativity. Have you got one? No, I haven't got one.
I do have one.
I did have one, but I don't want to say it.
Oh, right, okay.
You can say yours.
Okay. Riccardo Calafiori.
Yeah, fair shout. Yeah.
Just a bit of a flat return to the team. Granted, he's come back from injury and understand him getting up to speed, but the issue isn't necessarily. It's just a bit slow and ponderous on the ball once or twice.
A couple of misplaced passes. His performance was a bit out of sync with everybody else's, I think.
That's the key,
I think you're right.
So probably a bit
But again, the team he left was a little bit more ponderous. The team he's rejoined is a little bit more free-flowing, perhaps. Yeah. And he's just like adjusting. And he's the player who would fit into this new evolution of the team mid-season, perhaps. Positive takeaway then?
Atmosphere. I'm going to talk about the atmosphere at the ground, because could have easily been forgiven for it being quite flat, and albeit it did warm up to a certain extent, I thought that second half was especially positive, and the fans being positive. We're all on the fun boat, Arteta's fun boat.
That's got to be on one of our first T-shirts when we start doing merch, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Ahoy.
Star boy ahoy.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And I think I agree completely with that. I think it's a really good shout. And the Havertz goal against Chelsea feeds into that. We didn't need the Havertz goal against Chelsea to get to the final, but I think we really needed it for momentum, for carrying us. Just that positivity coming out of that Chelsea game into the next game, also at the Emirates. Remember how we all felt after the United defeat, that we were glad we were playing away from home in the next game. I know we played Carrot at home, but in the next big game, Leeds, and it was like, no, this is good at Ellen Road because away from that nervy atmosphere within the Emirates, there were no nerves.
No.
See, there were no nerves in the players either, and I think we're all on board the fun boat. Chris's positive takeaway: many taking shots from outside the box, playing with high tempo, then killing the game. The possession towards the end, 3 open play goals. They must hate us. They being everybody else. What's the narrative this week? It's the hammer blow from City, isn't it?
Oh, it's all about how, apparently we blew a 9-goal lead, even though we never really had a 9-point lead, I should say.
Can you imagine blowing a 9-goal lead?
9-goal lead, yeah.
Has anyone ever done that?
Let's not go there. They just had to manufacture some kind of narrative with that, I suppose.
Yeah, my positive takeaway, I've written 2. I've just said the urgency from minute 1 and open play goals. But again, as Chris said, there are loads from the game. Speaking of that, what's your negative takeaway?
Oh, just Trossard's injury for me. Didn't like the way he pulled up.
I did this. I wrote this 2 days ago and I just looked at what I've written for my answer, which I'd forgotten about. So yeah, the Trossard injury. And is that good or bad that we've not heard anything about it?
Oh, you never know with Arsenal. You never know at all with Arsenal. Hopefully it's nothing, but I don't know. Just felt,
I'd be a little bit wary of him saying it's just a matter of days.
Oh, God, yeah.
But that could be 100 days.
Yeah.
Chris's negative is Jesus. Just never got any joy up front and resorted to trying to win free kicks through his frustration, in brackets, C United game. And he was my player that I was looking for a bit more from. He was that player there, so I can see why Chris... All I've written down for negative takeaways, it rained. That was it.
We didn't
insightful analysis from me, guaranteed every single podcast. I sit in row 5, so I got wet a little bit.
Well, yeah, but
I had to put my hood up.
We've had much. We've had a lot worse. Trust me.
Exactly. I mean, it was obviously a little bit tongue in cheek, but I didn't want to focus on a negative.
I think it was it a European game where on the east stand, like water started pouring in from the roof. I don't think that's far away from where Chris sits, although not.
But he's under
the
far
thing,
enough,
isn't he? Because that was his dastardly plan. Yeah.
You mentioned the fans. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, we've 3 away games next. Brentford, Wolves, Spurs. City have Fulham and Newcastle at home, then Leeds away. But I don't think those games tally up because the game that, and I don't know whether it's good or bad, the game that City was scheduled to play the league final weekend is Crystal Palace at home. But Palace are in Europe. The only midweek free then was the 18th of February, which is when we're playing Wolves away. So I assume that, whatever game City were playing, that'll be rescheduled for the same week, midweek. But Palace are in the European knockout round or qualifying round for the next stage, for the knockout stages. So they can't play it. So we will have played a game more.
A lot.
I don't know when has the City game even been rescheduled? City Palace been rescheduled? I don't know.
No, not yet. Still unconfirmed. The only advantage would be because we get the Wolves game in early, we'll always have that 6-point buffer, but it will always have the factor in of...
Provided we win it.
Very true. But it will always have that factor of City who still have a game to play. So, yeah. It's all psychological.
I mean, it's only a good thing if we win the game not the earlier game, if you like, rather than the game in hand. Yeah, I'm a little bit. It's just another stick people can use to beat us if they see 9-point lead. Yeah, but they had a game in hand, so it's not strictly speaking a 9-point lead. Like yes, this weekend was it? We didn't have a 9-point lead. I don't view us as having a 9-point lead. We had after 75 minutes against the City-Liverpool game, we were holding a 9-point lead, but it didn't quite transpire like that. Right. Anything else to say about Sunderland game?
No.
Chris has just got something before we get on to the Brentford preview. He said City result felt like a seismic moment for them and the title race. Whilst frustrating that Poole didn't hold on, we have to stay focused on ourselves. A 6-point lead with 13 to play isn't a bad place to be. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the City result felt like a seismic moment for them and the title race?
I can understand you, Chris, saying that, but far more, and in the moment, I certainly felt that. I had to put myself in the position, if I was a City fan in that away end at that time, I'd be doing my nut. It'd be amazing in terms of like that moment, because you feel like you've nosed it up, and then you suddenly come back into it in bizarre fashion with the way the game ended, but still you'd absolutely lose it. But then far more calm and rational people, a couple of people I saw comment on it. So Elliot, Arsenal Vision podcast, sort of said, obviously they're going to be delighted with that comeback, but it was far too emotional. And when I think back...
become us.
Well, to a point, because it reminded me of those things like the Reece Nelson moment and all those sorts of things where we thought, oh, here we go. But like you say, we're probably a little bit too emotional. That means that you take in some nerves to the start of the game, which can lead you to fall behind. But
did you hear what Silva said?
Which Silva?
After
Bernardo.
Bernardo.
Yeah. Well, no.
He said, after the game, we all felt beforehand, if we lose this game, that's it.
See, that's pressure. I can't remember a City team saying things like that.
With 14 games to go. 13 games to go.
You had Rodri complaining about referees not wanting them to win it and basically accusing them of corruption.
And then Gay's not sent off, and that penalty could have gone the other way. Clever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And Rodri, where's his punishment for questioning the integrity of the officials,
He
by
won't
the
have
way?
one, will he? No, but there we go.
Have they added it to the number?
Yeah. Maybe.
Sorry, go on.
I was just so therefore I can sort of understand that, and it was another performance from City where they looked vulnerable. You know, for all Liverpool's issues in the game, Liverpool had chances. Boy, did they have chances to win that game, loads, but they couldn't finish. Ekitike, who's been, of all the strikers that were signed this summer, probably the one that's done the best. I mean,
he looked awful.
Well, the header. You didn't watch the second half.
Oh.
Did you see the header that he
No.
missed? There's a header that he misses, and you're just thinking, I don't know what he's done there. There was a bit of spin on the ball, but my word, it was so frustrating. But it's a misfiring Liverpool at the moment that a underwhelming City can then get one over. Add to that Alisson's 10 minutes of madness, the kind of madness that makes me think, have we looked at some illegal betting patterns or something like that? It was that kind of moment where you think, what the hell is he doing? He goes running out to take out Mateus, I think it was, for the penalty, and then just went wandering around trying to be sweeper and took a quick throw, but then slipped. Honestly, it was bizarre because their heads are gone. Because they conceded and they'd lost it.
It's a big game for Liverpool, that was.
It was a massive game for Liverpool because they were probably thinking similar to Bernardo Silva in the sense that if we don't win here, boy, top four is going to be a struggle. So
Chelsea United winning
is now. And so huge pressure on both teams. So as disappointing as it was, I can still see more vulnerabilities in them, drop points further perhaps down the line. Not 100% sure where, but that's my own.
Well, they've got to be impeccable, haven't they? I mean, remember that season that you're talking about, the Reece Nelson and the emotion and stuff. I think we won 16 games out of our last 18. But City just kept on relentlessly turning out results. They're going to have to, they've taken our role and we've assumed their role, their mantle of just no fuss. Just keep churning out the results. Let's keep doing it. Brentford's next in line. I mean, City have only won 2 games in the last 7 in the Premier League. They've got no consistency together. I mean, they drew at Spurs in the last game. So we'll see. Fulham at home can be a tricky... I just don't want to see an early City goal. I want to see that game 0-0 at half-time. Do
you want to know the stats?
No.
Oh, okay. I won't tell you that.
Go on then. What's the stats? Because other people might.
So shout out to, because I've just seen this on BlueSky, to suburban Guna Chris, who is on the Chris from the Same Old Arsenal podcast.
That's right, yeah.
He says, in case anyone is holding out for hope for Fulham away at City on Wednesday.
Expectation management
I know,
upcoming.
Right? He says, Fulham have lost all of their 19 games in all comps against City.
Crap.
16 in a row in the Premier League, and it's 13 losses out of 13 for Marco Silva in his career.
Okay, can I make a very impoverished retort to that? City had an almost equally appalling record at Anfield.
Yeah,
prior to Sunday.
Pep had one win.
And
it was a lockdown season.
So
crazy.
Records are there to be broken. And we've already just alluded to the fact that Man City were clearly feeling the pressure. And so if that game was 0-0 against Fulham, I mean, that's all I want. No, it's not all I want. I want the City to drop points at the end of the game. That's what I want. But in order for that to happen, I just don't want to see City score early. Because they will be feeding off the emotion of winning at Anfield, and they'd be expecting to turn up and dismiss Fulham with relative ease.
Yeah. I mean,
and
Fulham playing well at the minute as well.
And they've got Newcastle next up, and Newcastle are dropping like a stone. So they will offer 0. The next kind of potential banana skin, it would be Leeds away. But we don't know. Someone has gone through all the home and away games from each team. I think City's running now. They've got Liverpool out of the way. Is it just ever so slightly kinder than than the current league positions and for our opponents from now to the end of the season? But anyway, Brentford. Let me just read what Chris has sent in for Brentford. Despite having lost 10 games, they're level on points with Liverpool in 7th, proving that draws are the real killers, as I'm always bleating on about. And they were our undoing last season. Yes, thank you, Chris. Leeds in 16th have lost as many. Credit to Keith Andrews, having lost Wissa and Mumbermo. They've got Thiago Sade, who's suspended, and Utara taking up the slack, not to mention losing their captain to us and their managers are that a lot up the road. Recent away wins versus Villa with 10 men and Newcastle. So they beat Newcastle at weekend 3-2. They beat Villa 1-0 at Villa Park, having had a player sent off, Sade sent off before half-time. 2 fantastic results. That's a great 6 points, that is. It's just they're a tough outfit. It's one of those where playing them at their place might benefit us, as they might come out and play a bit. How are you feeling about Brentford then?
Nervous as hell.
Let me just... yeah, they're missing Sade. There's someone else they're missing. De Silva and Carvalho. That's it. So it's not a huge injury list for those guys. But they do kind of play a 4-4-2, quite aggressive, defensive, but then quick in transition with Utara scoring. Thiago's second top scorer, isn't he, behind Haaland?
Been brilliant this season.
At the moment. So he's been another find. Sade's a loss for them, I guess, because he was doing very well on the wing. But how are you feeling? So you're nervous as hell?
Nervous as hell. Because of their great form. And, I'll be the first to admit that at the start of the season, just purely on context, it was hard not to look at Brentford and wonder how on earth they would cope. Such a change. Manager, star players, captain. It just looked like that might be too much change. They are in that bracket of clubs that all seem to begin with B, Brighton, Bournemouth, where they're so good. Maybe because they are leaner clubs. They won't necessarily have the huge budgets like we're lucky to have. At the same time, they have enough nous in the club, whether that comes from ownerships or executives or, whatever staff that they've got. scouting in particular. That was the thing that was always said about Brighton, wasn't it? And Brentford seem to be doing similar now. They keep finding these players, buying low, selling high, and that just allows them to continually improve and make progress. And they're all teams that we've struggled against, at various different times. Bournemouth, Brighton especially. I've not seen us do amazing against Brighton in several games. Brentford is another one of those clubs. So, yeah, I'll hold my hand up and say at the start of the season, I thought it could be too much change in one go. And yet they've done brilliantly. They've promoted Keith Andrews from within, who, after a little bit of a sticky start, has now bedded in the players that he needs to. Thiago's just been an absolute revelation, made for the Premier League, doing exceptionally well. There's... Every time I watch them, Sade is someone I particularly like. He's a real nuisance, really quick, just never tires. But Damsgaard, he's like, he gets his foot on the ball. He really can find a pass. I think he's a really good player that sort of knits everything together. And whilst also remaining solid defensively, they're just a very, very good team that could cause us problems. So we're going to need to bring it again. I'm quite glad in the sense that we've got the FA Cup game on the Sunday. So Brentford's the game to go all out for, and then rotate where we can, because it's at home to Wigan, absolutely. So
relegation zone, League One, Wigan,
who have just got rid of their manager, Ryan Lowe. I didn't see actually who they replaced him with, but yeah, they're obviously, it's their league campaign is going to be far, far more important to them. So absolutely, I think we can absolutely have a go at this Brentford game, but it will not be easy.
Because we've got Wolves away on the Wednesday after.
Mm-hmm.
And then Spurs away on the Sunday after that. So it's a tough 3 league games away from home. Not much travel involved, but still. I had Keith Andrews down as like the first manager to be sacked. That's how
I wouldn't have.
That's how well he's. That's how well he's doing. But let me offer a little bit of hopium. Yeah. Their last home game, Brentford.
I don't know what it was.
2-0 defeat to Forest.
Okay, and Forest are not in good form.
No, you take the 6 points they've got from their last 2 games, and they're sitting like 3 points above Spurs.
Yeah.
So, like Chris said, they haven't drawn many, but they've lost 10.
Right.
And I, as I said on our Patreon account to anybody who was reading, we've got let's focus on ourselves. We've got the better players, and this isn't arrogance, it's just where we are. We've got the better players.
Sure.
We've got the better players. We play our game, and we shouldn't have a problem. Now, I know far easier said than done. What's your team?
Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Almost as you were, to be honest. I mean, Raya in goal, back 4, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel. I'm bringing in Capier back in. Although he seemed to pick up a little bit of a knock against Sunderland, so I'm hoping he's all right. Because, like I say, I think for Brentford away, him over Calafiori at the moment. Midfield 3, Havertz, Zubimendi, Rice, and then front 3, Madueke, Gyokeres. I've assumed that Trossard won't make it, so I've got Martinelli in.
Okay, Chris has gone for Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori at left back. He's gone for Zubi, Rice, and Erdegaard in the middle, and then Madueke, Gyokeres, and Martinelli as his front 3.
Okay.
I don't think any of us have got the same team, which is probably an indication of where we are. I've gone for Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and I've done Calafiori as well at left back. But I think if Calafiori doesn't start, I don't mind, and he'll play against Wigan to get his minutes up and get his form back a bit. I've gone for Zubimendi, Rice, and Eze through the middle. I haven't got Havertz starting, and I haven't got Erdegaard starting, just on an injury basis. But actually, I don't mind if Havertz starts. That's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want him to start, but I'm just thinking managing his minutes still. We don't know. It's more important that we keep him for the remainder of the games, and maybe he can come on for 20 minutes at the end of this game, and that's fine. And my front 3 are Madueke, Jesus, and Martinelli.
You're liking Gyokeres off the bench, aren't you?
Yeah, but I've got and I would have Trossard starting if I thought he because I thought he was my man of the match for the Sunderland game. So I would start him in this game if he's fit. Trossard starts and Martinelli and Gyokeres off the bench again. If it ain't broke, that's my kind of thinking there. What's your scoreline?
A very tentative 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, that's interesting.
Very tentative.
Okay, before I give you Chris's, I've got the same scoreline as you, but the exact opposite feeling.
You've got a confident 2-1.
It'll be one of those 2-1s where we look back and think, well, why did we even worry about that? Where we limited the opposition to nothing. Where that Brentford goal comes from, I don't know. Like in terms of what's the game state at the time? Well, no, what's the game state at the time? Like, is it an equaliser? Is it put them in front, or is it a consolation in the 94th minute? I don't know. So I have gone for 2-1. A familiar game for us this season. Chris has gone for a 2-0, and I get that because I'm not feeling as nervous about it as you are. I think it's a difficult game, don't get me wrong, and we will absolutely have to be at it, but my confidence is I think we will be.
Okay.
And if we are at it, we'll win. So it goes that way. It's not me just blindly thinking, oh, we're going to win, we're the better team. It's like, no, it's the way we're playing at the moment is dictating how I'm feeling about us entering these games. And I don't mind. I mean, there's one way of looking at the City result as ensuring it guards against complacency for us.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I know we'd still be in the same state if City had lost to Liverpool and then we ended up losing to Brentford, but losing to Brentford shouldn't really be on the agenda.
No.
We should be winning that game. Like, if we bring our A game with whatever the starting lineup is, we should have enough to win the game. I just wanted to say something about City. Well, not City, but the media. Every media outlet is saying, oh, 6 points, not much, and Arsenal still have to go to the Etihad.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a given that Man City are going to win that game.
Yeah.
The way everybody's talking about it, and I'm thinking, like, hang on a minute. We've got the opportunity to go to the Etihad and bury them. Like, end it.
We were 1 minute away from a victory at the Etihad with 10 men last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the season before was 0-0, the one where Rodri said we didn't go there to win, if I remember rightly. Like you say, it's not a gimme.
Yeah, so like and that's fine. Let the narrative continue because everybody's assuming that City are going to win that game. And they may well win that game. But that's far from a given.
And that's it. I would always... Sometimes I like these games, and I think I said as much when we made the final and we knew we were going to be playing City. I like the fact that we're probably going to be viewed as underdogs.
Yeah, I go back to 2 other matches in Manchester. Mark Overmars and Sylvain Wiltord.
Absolutely.
Similar time. I haven't looked at the dates, but similar times of the year. Similar league states at the time, and both ended in...
I used to think Overmars was the most exciting player. Honestly, just rapid. Oh, yeah. So good.
Still scored one of my favourite goals, FA Cup final against Newcastle.
Well, exactly. Oof.
So anyway, that's that. I'm done. Have you got anything else?
No, just to let viewers or listeners know that it really helps us if you leave a review and a rating and all those sorts of things. That just helps our visibility, helps us grow. It's building at the moment. We're getting lots of more comments and interest from people as the title race hots up, so it'd be good to hear your views on things.
Do also actually subscribe or follow us on, if it's Spotify or YouTube, do that. I know on Spotify we have like 4 times as many listeners as we do actual subscribers. So it's like, you listen to us and you keep coming back, just follow us, please. It just helps.
And if you want to watch us for whatever reason, we're available on YouTube as well. But most importantly, again, getting through some of the games, it was interesting with the City and Liverpool game going on our Patreon, free membership at the moment. Join our community because we have a chat going on through the matches, and it was nice having that release and, like-minded people to speak to and show our sort of annoyance and despair when Liverpool decided to bottle that game. Bottle it.
They did indeed.
Yeah.
They did indeed. Right, okay. We'll have an instant reaction after the Brentford game. A positive one, I hope. and then it's Wigan on Sunday. So, look, it's the build-up to another stressful Arsenal game has started, but let's enjoy the journey as well. We're still 6 points clear, despite what Gary Neville will try and convince you of. As you were indeed, and if that's the same scenario after every game weekend, there's only one champion. Say it's us. It's us. All right. Have a good few days, everyone. Catch you next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
See ya.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.